Okay, in this program, we've been focused on learning how to get good enough. Good enough to order drinks in Portuguese. Good enough to play the piano man. Good enough to take portraits of your kids. And once you focus on good enough, you can actually get pretty good pretty fast. But there are a few things where I want to double down. I want to get really good. And for me, one of those things was copywriting. I decided that I didn't just want to be pretty good. I wanted to get world class. So how does the game change when you get to that point? What does it take to go from, yeah, I know I'm good at this, to I'm really good or even great at this? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Right after my book came out, I decided to offer a 6-week personal finance boot camp for $150. And I realized something as I was writing the sales page. It sucked. I could just feel it as I was writing. This was the highest price we'd ever charged for an online program, and I could just feel it. It wasn't hitting. What was going on here was a disconnect between what I could do with my existing skills and what I wanted to do. I was pretty good at that time at writing blog posts. I just finished a book, so I knew I could do that. But writing a sales page for a $150 product, I knew I wanted to do that, but I didn't quite have the skills to make it work. And I could tell that it wasn't good. That was the moment when I realized, okay, it's time to get serious about this. I wanted to get really good. This is what I would call a pivotal moment. I could have dreamed about getting better at copy. I could have felt guilty for years, but it wasn't until there was an acute reason, a product that I wanted to launch on a deadline, that it suddenly became really important. That is the pivotal moment. When something just clicks and you decide, that's it, I'm getting serious. Maybe your pivotal moment is different. For example, one of my coworkers, Diana, had been studying Spanish for years, but her pivotal moment was when she met a Spanish guy who asked her to move to Spain. For a lot of people, it's their high school reunion or some big event that suddenly makes them decide to lose weight. The point is, when that pivotal moment happens, you'll know. It suddenly becomes irresistible to double down. And for copywriting, I was ready. The first thing I did was I carved out 10 hours a week for copywriting practice. And that's my minimum when I want to make something a priority. I read everything I could get my hands on. I read good books, bad books, blogs, courses, everything. In the beginning, you don't actually know the difference, so you need to be willing to try it all. And I want to highlight that because I see so many people worrying about what the best book is. The best book? Read them all. What's amazing is that after 3 or 4 books, things start sounding similar. And after about 10 books, you really start to notice who the best is. Then you can focus in on learning more from them. For example, Claude Hopkins, guy's legit. I want to learn everything that he teaches. The other thing I did after reading everything there was to find was that I wrote a lot. Most people, when they're learning something, they'll just read and read, or they'll consume and consume. But to get really good, you need to get your hands dirty. And in copy, that means writing a lot of bad copy, rewriting sales pages by hand, and not just doing the work, but actually asking for brutally honest feedback. Now, back then, I didn't have a bunch of world-class copywriters I could just pick up the phone and call, but I did have some friends. I did have some coworkers. So I got that feedback from my peers, from my team, even from my readers. I even gave myself feedback. I'd write a draft of our sales page for Earn 1K, and then I'd run all my notes from all my books, and I would put them next to each other, make edits, and then I would do it again and again and again. I think by the time we launched Earn 1K, I had rewritten that sales page about 20 times. The feedback that I got from all the people around me helped me get way better, way faster. So that's basically what I did. I read everything I could get my hands on. I practiced writing real copy over and over, and I got feedback, and then I repeated it. Nothing earth-shattering, right? But here's the important thing that I want you to notice from what I said. I rewrote that Earn 1K sales page 20 times. 20 times! Most people would try what? 2 times, maybe 3, then they would call it quits. If you want to be the best, specifically what we're talking about right now, you want to double down, you want to be the best, you have to be willing to do things that most people won't do. No, it's not easy. But I look back at the copy that I was writing back then and the copy that I'm writing now, and it's like night and day. So if you haven't hit that pivotal moment yet, where you're irresistibly drawn to doubling down on something, it's totally fine. In the upcoming lessons, we'll talk about how you can take these tactics and apply them to getting better on your own time. In the meantime, here's what I want you to do. Pick one skill that you think you might want to go all in with. If you don't have one yet, it's totally fine. When you have one, you'll know it. If you do have that skill in mind, then I want you to come up with one way you could do more than almost anyone else is willing to do. For example, most people would rewrite their sales page once. I did it 20 times. Most people would only practice jiu-jitsu when they're in class. What if you covered your basement with mats and practiced on your own every single day? Or most people would practice their basketball shot for 15 minutes. What if you didn't leave until you made 100 free throws? Share your idea in the comments below. This is going to be awesome for us to all read.